So we're here with Grounds for Invasion after their pretty phenomenal gig, I have to say, guys, upstairs at the March. Is it March? Good God, isn't time flying? So we have Tracy and Will from Grounds for Invasion. So first of all, I always ask this question: how was it for you?
Sexy.
Sexy. One word.
Let's go with the one word.
It was
Tracy.
brilliant. Yeah, really fun.
Lovely. It was absolutely a fantastic gig. I think everybody thoroughly enjoyed it. In fact, I was talking to a few mates of mine just upstairs 2 minutes ago who were saying, I think that's the best act that I've seen so far.
Oh, wow.
You know, and we've been going for 3 years, so that's pretty good. And it's kind of, there's something going on this year for you, isn't there? You've had, like, Bruce Lee, by the way, is a great track, and the video for it is phenomenal. So let's start off talking about Bruce Lee.
Yeah, well, I did the music, she did the words, so it's all up to her, really.
So you a Bruce Lee fan?
I am a bit, I suppose. I used to have a poster from him in my kitchen, but and I've seen the films. I wouldn't say I was mad into his films, but I've watched quite a few interviews with him. He was big into philosophy and stuff, and I'd watch an interview that I took literally the words from, the Be Water My Friend, and I just had it in my head that I'd like to do something with it, and then Will give me this crazy techno track that I was a dancey disco track, and I was like, I don't know what to do with it.
Great.
And then I was in Dunn's car park of all places in Galway, and it just came into my head when I was listening to it. I was like, oh, Bruce Lee's living inside me.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't go back to Will with that.
And was that based on the idea that your body is mostly made of water, and water takes any shape, so water can take our shape, it can take the shape of a teapot, of an ocean, or whatever.
You've seen the video.
Yeah.
And by the way, the video, can we go on to the video, because we could talk about water and Bruce Lee and stuff for ages, but the video was kind of stop motion photography or something, is it? And there's a nice bit of animation. Who did that? Because it's really, really good.
There's a lady living in Galway called Marta Barsakowska, and she's made a couple of videos like that for bands like My Full of Sponges and Stephen Sharp. She's great. And so we just kind of had to completely trust her, and she came back with like this really fun video. I thought I was kind of worried it might be a bit schmaltzy. I was pretty worried about it until I saw it, and I was just delighted. She did a great job.
Isn't that a wonderful surprise when that happens? Just a wonderful collaborative thing. So you guys are living in Galway. You're from Tipperary, I think, Will, and you're from Donegal, and almost in Mallinhead, almost as far as you can go. So how did you guys meet, and how did the whole collaborative project come about?
Well, we both did a music course in Galway called the Access Music Project. Now we were on separate years, and I heard they'd had some funding difficulties, so I called in one day to kind of say, if there's anything you can think of that I can do to help, or whatever. And they said, well, what can you do? And I said, I don't know. And as I was going out the door, the director, or the course coordinator, I suppose, the mammy, she ran after me and was like, do you know how to work a radio desk? And I said, I do. Because Tracy had just gotten a show on the local college radio station.
The very day,
like she'd gotten it like an hour beforehand. So,
and I had just went to Ailish and I said, listen, I got the show, whatever. I want to interview bands, local bands from Galway, and let them come in and play some live music. But I knew I couldn't manage the tech side of it. So I just said, do you know of anyone, And like literally that day, Will popped in, and so that was it. We just...
Isn't it extraordinary? That's life though, isn't it? That's what makes life so wonderful. Serendipity, yeah. What if you made a different decision half an hour before, Will, that you're going to have a coffee, and then you had a coffee and you met a friend or whatever? Exactly. So it's amazing the way things like that come about. So you've just been announced on A Body and Soul along such luminaries as Dan Deacon and Nightmares on Wax and Asgeir and Austra. How does that feel?
Well, pretty great, because when is this going to be up online?
Very soon.
Like, all right, I just because I met my. Because it's just not everybody knows, but I'm getting married this year, and I met my future wife at a Dan Deacon gig. So it's going to be really nice to come back to this, because we haven't been to see him in a couple of years, and so we're getting married like a month later. It'll be brilliant to go to see him,
Wow, that's almost like a dream come true, isn't it? Because for those of you that don't know a Dan Deacon gig, you've got to check out some stuff online, because Dan Deacon gets his audience completely involved in the gig. So he gives instructions like, put your hands up and put them on the head of the person in front of you. So you end up having this very intimate contact with entire strangers. So was that how you met your wife, Will? Wife to be?
Actually, she was with a buddy of mine, and now she's not. So yeah. Sorry, Barry.
So you're a thief. And I have to say, you are both very busy on stage. You know, as a two-piece band, sometimes you can be watching, particularly when you see a laptop and you think, this might be good musically, but atmospherically it might not be so good. But we never got a sense of that at all. It's very interesting to watch you. You're playing a bit of bass and doing some loops. You're doing a bit of guitar. You're doing keyboard stuff. You're doing a small bit, she says modestly, and singing amazing tunes.
Will's just flat out on stage. Like the amount that Will does is just incredible, you know. I mean, I don't even have my head around exactly, you know, there's so much involved in it, you know, and he's constantly, I actually just don't know how he does it, to be honest.
Absolutely.
I just keep my end together and it just amazes me. You know?
Will, in a very nice way, you're a nerd. I don't know. We talked briefly before the gig, and I was kind of admiring all of the electronics and stuff. And Will started thinking that I actually knew something, and talked to me in techno talk for a while. And I kind of nodded and said, "I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds fucking good." So. You know, that's really quite interesting, though, the fact that as you love electronics, you love the challenge of putting stuff together mathematically. Yeah, I know. Yeah. He's in an interview. Get used to it. So does that form part of the creation of the music, Will, or where does the music come from? Is it emotionally driven? Because it's different from a guitar player sitting down at home. And
actually, I think I have I don't know how other people write. I don't do choruses or anything like that. I just sit down, drink a load of coffee, get a kind of a good coffee buzz on, and just kind of start recording loops and bass lines and putting drum beats to it and all that, and then just kind of build the tracks up from there. I don't think there's a song on the record that took more than 3 hours. Like, they're all just sit down, do it, and it's done, you know.
Wow, that's pretty special. Yeah. I understand exactly. I know people who, like yourself, who have that lovely, lovely life of doing the day job, maybe, but in the evening time, it's just about creating stuff at home and just letting your mind flow. But it takes a very special person to add the lyrics and the vocal melody, and that's where
I come in. Yeah, well, I love it because I came very late to music. I've always written, but I didn't start playing the guitar till I was 35. And I find writing music very limiting. I find it very difficult to sit down and write a song on a guitar. It just kind of limits me, and I'm never happy with it. So when Will first suggested that he give me some of his tracks, because I loved his music, and with Willow C, and I was just, it's like a dream come true for me, because I just get handed these tracks and then I get to do what I want with them. So I just have total freedom, and there's always like that first. I think we're probably over that now. If we're going to do another album, we'll probably be over a bit, but like there's always that horrible bit where I have to come over to Will's and go, oh God, now I've got to tell him what I've written, you know, what I've done to the song, you know, and it's very nerve wracking, but it's for me, as it's just.
But isn't that wonderful? It's like going on a date or something. You know what I mean? You've no idea whether you're going to like the person or whether you know. So will you send your tracks off to Tracy on MP3 or something?
She lives up the road, so I just give them.
You just get them on a CD and then take them in the car and just listen to them in the car.
That's deadly.
It's great. Your knackered stereo.
On my knackered stereo, there's no bass.
The bass just farts off.
That's cool.
I go to all these gigs and I'm like, oh, that sounds like that. There's bass in this, because I have no bass in my car, so there's all these fabulous elements that Will's put in that I don't get to hear kind of until we go up on stage sometimes.
Which only increases the surprise element, doesn't it? Which is great. Well, that's brilliant. Two of the bands tonight, the first band that we're playing tonight, Cloud Culture, we did an interview with them earlier on, and they're only 19 years of age, and they're doing their Leaving Cert this year. And they were saying how they love the fact they're almost anti-technology and people living on their you know, social media lives and stuff like that, the virtual lives, you know. And it sounds like you guys are kind of, despite the fact that you're totally into your electronics, your whole approach is much more organic and old school.
I write kind of most of the basic riffs on the songs on a bass guitar usually, or on just on a keyboard or something. And then it's just build up the textures from there. Really, I only use a laptop because I can't think of another way to do it all myself.
Okay.
It'd be nice to get other people in, but then you've got to depend on other people. Yeah. Although we are getting a drummer in. So we'll have a drummer, body and soul.
We'll have a drummer,
So.
Okay, so that's going to add to particularly to the live thing, because I didn't notice any lack of a drummer musically tonight.
Yeah, you get the thump of the kick. You know, you'll be feeling your chest.
Yeah.
Which we don't have at the moment. So. Yeah, it'll add a lot to it, like. And he's a very handsome man as well, apparently.
Okay, so we'll have the hearts thumping even faster when this dude comes in. So watch the space for Grounds for Invasion. So listen, folks, Body and Soul album out, by the way, and the single Bruce Lee you can check out on YouTube as well. But the album is called
Dying Stars.
dying stars. God, we could talk about that subject for a long time as well. And there it is. Do you have some sort of magic person over there?
That was a
who
great throw, man. That was great. That was so cool.
Lands merchandise. Could we have the t-shirt now, please? The underwear. The saucy stuff.
Yeah, we're bringing it.
Bring it in. Full range of... Excellent. Well, listen, lads, it's been really good fun and lovely to meet you, and a really amazing gig, and it sounds like it's a very serendipitous experience, you guys meeting up together. So well done. Thanks a million.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks.